Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, have you heard of Unidragon?
Yeah, that's the puzzle dude.
That's right. Guess what? They moved to Amazon.
Yeah, I know. The owl told me.
The owl told you?
Yeah, it's all about the owl.
Oh, the owl. Oh, the owl and Unidragon told you.
Yeah, we've talked about this guy before. He's the puzzle guy.
He's the puzzle guy. That's correct. They do, of course, have the owl, and the owl is available for you to now get with Prime free delivery.
Awesome.
We've made it easier for people to find the owl.
Yeah, I know. The owl told me about that too.
The owl did. What did the owl tell you?
He told me to go on to the TechTime Radio website /sponsors.
Wow, the owl is just telling you everything. That's correct. If you go to TechTimeRadio.com /sponsors, you see our sponsor right there, and it's got a link so you can immediately click and purchase Unidragon off of Amazon. Don't get fooled by fake puzzle people out there trying to sell you imitation puzzles. Go and find the brand you can trust, Unidragon.com. And again, go to TechTimeRadio.com /sponsors, because the owl will tell you no place better to buy it than with the TechTime Radio code.
Yeah, there's 3 sizes.
TheForgivenPodcast.com. Prepare yourself for a forgiveness experience. The Forgiven Podcast retells Bible scandals in a more modern setting, focusing on forgiveness in a counsel culture. This series will touch on forgiveness by dramatizing some of the most scandalous stories in the Bible. Look at stories of David and Bathsheba, Joseph and his brother, Joseph and Potiphar's wife, and of course, Samson and Delilah, presented in a modern-day audio drama. Tune in to hear these stories, unlike you've ever heard them before. The season has already started, and it features 7 scripted episodes followed by bonus episodes, including readings, sermonettes, and gospel music. Listen 7 days a week for 7 weeks for a forgiveness experience. TheForgivenPodcast.com. Prepare yourself for a forgiveness experience. And remember, you too can be forgiven.
Coming to you from the shores of the Pacific Northwest. Keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side. With leading edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
There we go. It's TechTime Plus.
TechTime Plus, our second hour.
Second hour where we're experiencing the hangover from the first
hour. Welcome to TechTime Radio. I'm your host, Nathan Mumm. We got Mike Corday here and David Brown behind the board. This is hour 2 of our 2-hour show. If you're listening to us on Saturdays from 4 to 6 p.m., you're watching us live. And if you're not, then you're hearing a rebroadcast of our show. So always visit TechTimeRadio.com. I'm not going to go through all the days, but go visit us.
There's a Hooked on Phonics joke there.
There is a Hooked on Phonics, is there?
Yeah.
Okay. Visit us at TechTimeRadio.com. And you can find out all the information. You can catch all of our episodes. If we have a guest that comes on in, you can actually click on their picture of the guest and go right to their segment that they have available there. So it's a great website. Everything's taken care of, and we'll soon have some merchandise with our logos on it. That will be exciting. All right, our 2-hour show is a technology show for the common person, so you shouldn't have to geek out to understand the technology and subjects we talk about. So, Mike, excited to get through our first hour. That was an hour packed. On this show, on this hour,
just slow down.
I'm slowing down.
Take a work for you. Take a breath.
That's right. This is Worked on Phonics. Yeah, we're going to have co-founder and lead driver of a new social media platform, Checkmark. Mark Kaplan is going to be joining us. Mm-hmm. So Facebook, if you're watching, so we already ripped you in the first hour of our show.
I don't think they're going to be.
I don't think they're watching. Well, sometimes
they're hanging out in Congress a lot.
Okay, that's right. So you got to watch out because we have a platform for social media that actually encourages people to be nice. Oh my gosh, what about that? Isn't that mind blowing?
That is mind blowing.
How the heck could we do that as a society? Do we want to be positive to people?
No.
We just aren't. Just
we love
just being negative, don't we?
Yes.
All right, so we got that. Of course, check out all of our information. We already have our NFT that Mike did. So if you want to bid on our NFT, you can go on TechTime Radio underneath our store and bid on the NFT. It's on OpenSea.io, so one of the main NFT platforms available there. You can get a piece of history.
That's right.
You can engage in our show by calling us at 425-373-5527 or 188-298-KKNW, which is 5569 if you have a question for our guest, or if you have a question that you're going to hear us talk about in the first segment or second segment. That would be fantastic to join us also. Now, the first thing we're going to do as we start each one of our second hour shows is our friends at the Love Shack provided us with conversational cards for couples. I think that's what it actually says. But we're all kind of couples here. So Mike, myself, and David.
Yeah,
so
we got a really...
What's that?
We've got a bromance going on.
We got all bromances here. That's right. We're all working together. So here's the question for you. Who is your favorite celebrity and why? Mike, you're up first.
Oh, well, I have to go with my favorite crush.
Okay.
Actress Kelly Williams.
Kelly Williams.
She's the lady that was on Lie to Me.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So she was also on The Practice.
And on The Practice.
Yeah. So I knew her. That's
Yeah, I have a massive crush on her.
You have a massive crush on her?
Love her voice. Yeah, a lot of it is her voice. She's very elegant.
She's very witty, too.
And witty. Yeah.
She's always, and all the parts she's played, she's witty. Okay, great. Dave, we'll go to you next.
Oh, after thinking about it for a sec, I'm going to go with Tim Allen.
Tim Allen.
I loved his, Home Improvement days, especially as Tim the Toolman Taylor.
I saw a live. We were down in California, and we actually got to go to a live
stand-up.
A live taping of the show, and it was with my wife and my dad and a couple other people. My dad. That was like heaven for my dad. He was laughing literally it was like a pre-show before they actually film it so they can get the feedback. And there was only one guy in there that was, he was laughing so loud. I'm like, Dad, just chill out.
So, yeah,
Tim Allen?
You couldn't remember what episode that was?
It's a bowling one. All I know is that there's something where there's the boss, his boss, and them are part of a bowling league because they set up a little bowling thing and they actually ended up rolling the bowling ball into the audience itself to make it look like a lane that was there. So I don't remember what exact episode it was.
Woo-hoo.
Mine would be, I have a man crush on this guy.
You got a man crush?
I do. Chris Pratt.
Oh, he's from around here.
So the quick story about it is he is around here. He went to Lake Stevens High School.
Right.
So Star-Lord, if you don't know who this is, Jurassic World. If you don't know who Chris Pratt is, then you're underneath the corner of a rock. So you may want to get out and
he grew
enjoy it.
Right around here.
So he grew up in Lake Stevens. Literally, that's where our house is right next to. We lived in Lake Stevens for a while until we moved to Snohomish. And specifically what I like about him is I liked his acting, but I have a friend, and she went to school with him, and she's a nice gal. She wouldn't have probably been the most popular or anything like that, but she said that when Chris Pratt attended school, he wasn't necessarily the most popular kid either, and he kind of did wrestling and a couple other things. But she said that he was the politest guy in high school that she went to, always wanted to know how people were doing, always was caring about somebody. And so when I enjoyed his acting, that just put it into the next level where I said, this guy is a real decent dude.
He also painted a mural in a pizza joint.
Yeah, so he also lived on the beaches in Hawaii for a little bit. So I did a lot of my man crush studies on this guy. So that's my guy there. Wow. All right, okay. Well,
I'm just going to stick with Kelly.
You're going to stick with Kelly? That's probably safe. All right, we're going to move into our very first segment. This is becoming a favorite. We call it Letters.
Letters. We get letters. We get back and back of letters. Oh, letters. We get letters. And the letters all have songs.
That's getting better and better each time I hear that.
I love that, that lead-in. That's awesome.
All right, so here's what we do on our segment Letters. We read emails that were sent to me during this week that are spam phishing.
This week.
Just this week. This was like Friday, May... Oh, you know what? This is Friday, May 7th on this one that I pulled here. But all the rest are this week.
Lame.
So yes.
Lame.
This is funny to start out with. So, Mr. Tom Baba at Mr. W. Douglas 10 at gmail.com. So, Mr. Tom Baba must go by Mr. Douglas. I don't know why he does that, but okay. So, dear friend, I am Mr. Tom Baba from West Africa. I have business... I'm just reading this.
This is the prince.
I have business deal to share with you in sum of $10.2 million US that is being held over here in BOA Bank of Africa.
There it is.
The fund mentioned right belonging to one of late clients who deposited money in bank died.
Okay, great.
That's awesome.
Okay, nobody have been able to apply to claim the funds, so I doubt and real please, my dearest friend, please don't respond.
That's funny. This is exactly the same kind of stuff you get on dating sites.
Is it really?
Yeah.
You get this type of stuff too?
I get this stuff all the time.
So is it like pre-done spam or somebody's just
somebody's actually typing this crap out.
Oh boy.
You can tell real quick that they're not Americans.
Once we succeed in transferring the fund, if you can send me an agreement of 60-40, I will have great deal. Please respond to tombaba10@gmail.com.
Tom Baba is the new prince.
So Tom Baba, he wants your full name, your age and sex. So supposedly he knows me, dear friend.
Oh, yeah.
But he doesn't know my name, age or sex, marital status, your country name, your phone number, your occupation, your bank name, your account number.
Hey, that's awesome.
And thanks, your brother, Mr. Tom. See,
that's cool.
Those are all the stuff that he's asking for.
I did one of these with a person on Facebook, and I kept them on for 3 days.
Yeah?
Eventually got them to admit who they were and give me their bank account information.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Did you? So there's a bunch of people that do this online sometimes, and they do videos of this. It's pretty funny. The next one. Now this is tricky.
Now wait, what type is that? Is that a?
This is a horrible email. If you actually
that's a horrible email. But what type of phishing scam is this?
So they want you to provide. So it's not even really a phishing scam because they don't give you a link. They want you to.
They want you to actually email
your name, age, sex, marital status, country, phone number, occupation, bank account name, account number. And thank you.
Wow.
So I'm going to have to type that all in. So I'm going to have to give them all that information.
They have no idea about human behavior.
Yeah, it's just so that was too much work to do.
They're missing out just on pure laziness.
I know. That's way too much work for anybody to do. All right. Second one is XPLR Pass. Now, there's an XPLR Pass that's a part of North Face.
Oh, so XPLRR.
So there's two R's in this. So essentially the North Face Pass is when you go and you buy stuff at North Face. You get like credit stuff and you can take care of it. So 1 digit change. The reply is to XLPRPASS at DNorthFace.com. Not THENorthFace.com. TheNorthFace.com would have been a correct email address to send it to.
They put D.
But they put D. Like
D
the number D. Like D.
The
North Face.
The number D?
Well, sorry, not the number D. I said the number D.
You said the number D.
The letter D, NorthFace.com. And it says, redeem online in a store. Hey, Nathan, great free shipping and return as always. Please click on this link. You have a $20 reward. And here's the link that it has. Now, first of all,
That's a huge link.
If you have a link this big, you're probably not sending it to your website itself. So look at how big that link is. So literally,
that takes up the whole page.
Yeah. So that's the link for the.
Is that on the back too?
Yeah, and it keeps on going. So I got different reward levels. I can find out. So if I want
this guy's very into it.
So he spent a lot of time coming up with fake links to send these to. I can get a $20 reward, I can get a free shipping reward, and I can get a special added jacket if I decide to do this with all different things. They gave me some card number information there. It gives me some PIN to use to log into this. So if I look at it and I said, well, gee, I must have that card number and that must be my PIN. And no, my PIN would not be 0466 on anything that I do. I have a pretty universal PIN.
What happens when you click on these links?
It goes and it shows you a product in a cart that looks like you're on North Face. Absolutely mocked up site. Pretty high-end scam. Because you wouldn't see the link this long if you don't print it out, because you're just going to see the URL that's available there. So it's a very short version of the URL. Very large scam, very intelligent scam. They want me to essentially give my account information for North Face.
So they're going to get you to click on the link.
Yep.
You go to this mocked website, and then you put in your card information.
That's correct.
To get the checkout.
And then when I put in my real redeeming card, it'll probably, I didn't do it, so it probably would say your item is being shipped.
Right.
Then they would have access to your card, and then they would essentially go on in and ship something to themselves.
Okay.
So very, very high end.
That's pretty sophisticated.
So here's my other one.
He should talk to that first guy.
Yeah, because him and the first guy should work out together.
Yeah, they should collaborate.
All right,
do some consulting there.
Our next email, and we got one more after this real quick. I'm happy OT updates you again. I showed you this. So this is a dear friend. Dear friend, this is Mr. Leon Harris. I'm happy to inform you that he has funding of $12.5 million to transfer in a cooperation partnership from Dubai. Presently, I'm in Dubai, and I need your help.
So this is the Prince in Dubai.
So this is the Prince in Dubai thing.
Okay.
Please feel free to go and purchase, to help me out, at your local convenience store, a Google card.
Yeah.
So this is a scam that happens a lot where people will say, I can't get anything. Can you go get a Google card or an
Walmart
Apple card or a Walmart card? And then what you need to do is contact me back, scratch it off, get the information that you have there, send it to me because we'll use that as a transfer of cash and have things taken care of. And then once you do that, it is gone. So so you're not going to see any of it back. And then he says that he will partner with me and that he will take $400,000 and he'll give me $600,000 immediately.
Really?
Yeah.
That's very generous.
Yes,
Somebody that's $12.5 million.
And what he'll do is after I send him that information, he will then give me a Visa ATM card that I can use to get my $600,000 out. I don't know any. Well, actually, I do because I
feel
work
like
for some
I should
billionaires.
trust all strangers.
I had a billionaire that once had like $1.5 million on a Visa card that I could buy a house like on a Visa card. But yeah, that doesn't happen now. All right, last thing.
I need one of those. That's what I'll buy my Lego room with.
There you go. Many business owners from the first episode. If you don't know about Mike's Lego room, check out the first episode, hour 1. You'll get it.
Yeah, we're good.
Business owners can get $333,000 in employee tax rebates. So this is, again, another scam. Essentially, do you like paying taxes online? Since tax season is here, do not pay the government. We have a way to help you earn percentage points on the taxes you're paying the government. So listen. You don't get any money for paying the government on taxes. You have to pay your taxes. There's no scam out there where you can pay somebody else. They're going to pay the taxes for you, and you get a percentage back. It's not like using a credit card where you get points back. Essentially, what they would do is they would take your money, they will not pay your taxes, and it will be done. It's a very simple scheme of send me money, click on the link here.
Yeah, that's what all these are for. Those are all trying to get your money.
Well, you had one that tried to get a card. Right. One tried to send me all the information. One tried to use my deal.
So these are trying to get what?
They're trying to get tax rebates. So if I have money owed in taxes, I pay them instead. They'll pay my taxes, and then I can get a percentage back for using them as a service. So I pay $30,000.
So that's what they're trying to get you to do.
That's what they're trying to get me to do.
They're trying to get you to send them money.
Yes.
So they're trying to get you to pay them your taxes.
Yes.
Okay.
And then they're going to supposedly pay the taxes for you.
Yeah,
and then after that, they'll also give you a rebate.
Yeah.
Yeah, the government doesn't work like that.
No.
If it did, I mean, I know in our taxes we had to pay a penalty because we made enough money that we didn't pay it out quarterly, so they put an additional tax on us.
Oh,
first.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Self-employment.
Yeah, what is that? Yeah, what is that thing? You have to pay like every quarter they want you to pay.
That's right. You have to pay what you think you're going to owe.
Yes.
Yeah, it's an estimated tax.
Yeah, so otherwise, let me tell you, the government's not giving you any bonus breaks, and neither can anybody else get that. So we're going to go to our first commercial break. When we come on back, we are excited. We're going to have Mark Kaplan, the founder of ChekMarc. He's going to join us after this break to tell us a little bit about him, what he's doing, how he's going to change the world with his social media platform, and a little bit about ChekMarc. We'll see you after this.
Hey, honey, did you hear what I heard?
What's that, babe?
I heard Mike over there at TechTime Radio. He's like battling he's in the swimming with the sharks in that singles arena, if you will. You know?
Oh, bless his heart. And I also heard, like you did, that maybe things aren't going so great. You know what he needs, babe?
I think he needs to spend a little time in Love Shack.
Yeah, Love Shack. The Love Shack that airs every Thursday at 1 p.m. PST on KKNW 1150.
Come on, Mike. Come on over and join us. We got you.
Upper Left Corner is a PNW true crime podcast now streaming on all major podcast platforms. If you get excited when your favorite true crime podcast tells a story about a place that you've been to or the town that you live in, then Upper Left Corner podcast is for you. Each week, I tell you a story of a crime that has taken place in the PNW and give you background about the town the crime occurred in. If you like true crime, check out Upper Left Corner podcast, now available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and more.
Ace Hardware is a helpful place with prompt, friendly service, knowledge, and the little things that make a big difference.
Service.
Selection.
Advice.
Community involvement.
Competitive prices.
Convenience.
Located near you.
And the things you need, such as
house keys,
lawn and garden,
plumbing,
electrical,
hardware,
grills,
outdoor living supplies,
and even nuts and bolts.
When you visit Ace Hardware, you'll be greeted at the door and given the help you need.
So come visit us at Ace Hardware in Evergreen Way in Everett, Lake Stevens, and now Stanley.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
beat here, doesn't it?
I like this one.
You like this beat?
Especially
All right.
after I've been drinking.
For the first hour show?
Yeah.
That's right. Welcome back to TechTime Radio. I'm Nathan Mumm. We got Mike Roday here, David Brown behind the board. We are excited to move into our next segment. We're going to move into it pretty quickly because we got lots to talk about. So we're going to start our next segment.
Okay.
This is a segment we call Ask the Experts.
All right. Prior to founding Checkmark, Mark was a partner at Deloitte, where he held several executive roles, including P&L responsibility for large business, chief strategy and transformation officer for one of the 4 business areas of Deloitte. We're bringing up Mark right now on the live stream. Mark, welcome to the show.
Hi, Mark.
Hi. How are you, Nathan? How are you, Mike? Thanks so much for having me.
Yes, thanks so much for joining us. Hopefully, I don't know if you caught our first hour of the show, but we are drinking a little bit of whiskey here, so we'll be a little bit
relaxed,
more relaxed than the first hour. So that's fantastic. We're going to start off. I had a great time. We've talked a couple times now, and so this week I actually took a look at Mark's product, and we went through screenshots on a bunch of stuff right here. So this is what we're talking about. Is not conceptual concept. This is something that is in place, is going to be out there, and I do have a belief that I think this can be. It's not like Facebook, and so let's be very clear. We don't want to necessarily say this is a Facebook alternative, but I think this social media platform format could take over and have the effect that other aspects of Facebook should do, and being a positive aspect for that. But before we get into all of that, tell me a little bit about your background, Mark, kind of in technology and business. How did you get to work at Deloitte, and how did you get to kind of now develop your company? Let's go back and kind of give us a little brief recap.
Sounds good. And hopefully you guys can hear me okay.
Yep.
By the way, Mike, I did look up Kelly Williams, and she is available. As of 2017.
And you're single there.
Oh, maybe,
so maybe you can get with the
she'll-
Love Shack, and you can help on getting some
Maybe we can get
connection.
her to watch the program.
There you go.
Thanks.
Fantastic.
Thanks, Mark.
Yeah. So to your question, I'm based outside of New York City.
Okay.
Grew up in Syracuse. Born in Madison, Wisconsin. I started out in smaller and medium-sized consulting companies. I ended up going to the Associated Press for a couple of years to help them with a small technology business that they had to help turn that around and fix that. Decided to go back into consulting at a certain point, and the plan was to go to Deloitte, make partner, and leave in a couple of years. Well, it didn't quite work out that way. I went to Deloitte, I made partner in a few years, and then I stayed another 12 years. So and during that time, I had a great experience. I had the opportunity to work across 2 of their big businesses, the consulting business where I ran a business for them, and the advisory business where I helped work with their CEO pretty closely to fix some things with the business, and spent a lot of time serving clients around big transformations. And, over the last couple of years, I had really had the itch to start my own company.
Okay.
And I had a bunch of ideas, and, with talking to Verinda Johnson, my co-founder, we just had a great idea in Checkmark, and we just needed to do it. So I had left there right around a year ago, and we launched Checkmark 11 weeks ago, and we're very proud of it.
Perfect. All right. So as a young child, growing up, how was your interactions? What did you do as a child growing on up to form where you are at today?
Oh, that's pretty interesting.
That's a good question.
Well, yeah, it's a great question. Well, I grew up in a pretty small town.
Okay.
So, where I grew up, I thought that, like the local yogurt place was the local yogurt place. I didn't even understand the concept of a chain store. And so it was really, I think when I went to college in Boston that my interest expanded. I'm from a family of people who started their own businesses in different ways later in life. And it's very interesting that I'm doing the same thing later in life. And I've just always had this passion, this desire to create, to innovate. I've enjoyed throughout my entire life has always been helping make other people's lives better and develop them and grow them as people. I was always very relationship oriented, and I was looking for a way to create that for the world, not just in my one-on-one interactions. So I just think my affinity for people my desire to improve things, my belief in positivity, those things just all found their way into this idea.
All right. So who's your role model? Growing on up, we all have like role models, right? Who would have been a role model to you to help guide you in the child years, the teenage years, the beginning adult type age area? Who was one of your key role models?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think early on it was my father.
Okay.
He was working for a company. He was making $8 an hour with 2 kids in Syracuse, New York. It wasn't exactly living the high life. And at one point they offered him a raise of $2 an hour. And we were like 10, 11 years old. So that would have helped. And he responded and he said, if that's all you can afford to pay me, hold on to it. And, when you know my worth and my value, come back to me. And a year later, they made him partner, and then he eventually became the majority owner of the business. And he always just tell me, if you focus on the client and you focus on people and you focus on doing the right thing, you'll be invaluable. And that always carried with me through life and always carried with me through all of my jobs.
Yeah, your parents are good role models, right?
For most people, yeah.
For most people. I mean, whether your mom or your dad.
they are our primary shapers of our personalities and values. So.
My mom always told me I could do anything I wanted to do. My dad now, he was a little different. He had some opinions about what he wanted me to do. But
of course.
But my mom was always
so did my father.
Did he? Yeah.
Yeah, he was a career military guy, so, You're
going to move into the military and obey this and do that?
That's what I think he wished I would have done.
And then we all do a little bit different. All right, okay. So what's an important life decision that you had to cross during your process of working at either Deloitte or moving up into your area that kind of puts you in the driver's seat to come and be a part and launch ChekMarc?
I think early on in my career at Deloitte, I was always clear that I wanted to get operational. I could always see the big picture and always see the strategy, and I was very, very good with the clients. But I wanted to run businesses. I wanted to create, and so when I had opportunities, for roles, I held out, for the right one, and it meant that I passed on ones that other people would have thought would have been bigger opportunities. But for me, I just always knew that I had an eye toward leading, and I had an eye toward creating, and I had an eye toward building. And so, holding out for the right role was a big one. And quite frankly, to be quite honest with you, I always wondered what was out there. And around the time that I had that opportunity, I was offered a pretty big, executive role in a company. And I decided, I would have made a lot more money at that point in time. But this was the right role for me at Deloitte, and this was the opportunity for me to sink my teeth in and to really run and transform and fix a business. So I think that was just an example of patience, which I'm not known for day to day, by the way, but patience with my career in terms of making the right decisions and building on top of things and putting the right foundation in place. There was a pretty big decision I made a long time ago when I was 21 years old and I was at University of Pennsylvania Law School. And that was a crossroads for me because I was 2 months into law school, 21, 22 years old, and I decided to leave. And everybody was like, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I don't know, but I don't want to be a lawyer."
Sounds like my wife. She was like halfway through starting her deal to be a lawyer too, and she said, "Yeah, no, I'm not going to do this anymore."
Yeah, I started college as pre-veterinary sciences.
Okay. All right, well, we're going to have to go on a commercial break here, but I got a question for you that we're going to come back to, and then Mike's got lots of questions that he's got. But let's ask that. What is the goal of creating a new technology idea, and how did you come up with creating the idea of ChekMarc? And we're going to go to a commercial break. When we come on back, Mark's going to explain that answer, a couple of questions that Mike has, and we're going to spend the rest of that next segment coming on up talking about ChekMarc, the application out there to replace Facebook. So we'll go to commercial break now.
Hello, my name is Arthur, and my life's work is connecting people with coffee. Story Coffee is a small batch specialty coffee company that uses technology to connect people to each product resource, which allows farmers to unlock their economic freedom. Try our Medium Roast Founder Series coffee, which is an exotic bourbon variety that is smooth, fresh, and elegant at storycoffee.com. That's STORI coffee.com. Today you can get your first bag free when you subscribe at storycoffee.com with code TechTime. That's STORI coffee.com.
Hi, this is Lisa Downs, host of Reigniting You, a new show here on KKNW that explores a variety of topics and timely issues for making mid to late career transitions. I'll be here every Wednesday afternoon at 3 o'clock bringing you guest interviews, career transition advice, and great stories to guide you to what's next in your career and life. Gain a renewed sense of purpose for your next phase with a positive, forward-looking approach. Get ready to be re-energized, recharged, and reignited Wednesdays at 3 o'clock.
Hello, Seattle. How would you like to have immediate and easy access to your live EKG and heart rate data? Your data right at your fingertips and with no need to hook up wires and leads or be strapped to a machine at the doctor's office. The new Pulse device from Vivomi continuously tracks your EKG and displays this data on your mobile phone. Have you ever wondered how your EKG and heart rate behaves when you're exercising at the gym, navigating the stressful demands of the workday, or just getting the kids ready for school or relaxing at home? The Pulse is a different kind of wearable, and you can experience this difference by going to www.vivomi.com and ordering your device today.
Welcome back to Tech Time Radio. I'm your host, Nathan Mumm, with Mike Roday here, and Mr. Brown behind the board. Mark Kaplan is joining us.
Where'd he go?
A founder from ChekMarc. There he is right there. When we went to the commercial break, I had a question, and the question is, what's the idea of creating a new technology? So specifically, what's the idea behind creating ChekMarc?
Well, ChekMarc is all about creating a positive experience for people online. Full stop. And ChekMarc brings people together to give and get guidance online in a global platform. In 36 languages, where they interact for free, where they're not charging each other money for their services, where it is kindness, generosity, and positivity around helping people trying to achieve things in life. Full stop. ChekMarc's not a place to be heard. It's not a place for negativity. It's a positive community that's very safe, secure, and private, and we put a ton into making those things live into the product. And it helps people achieve things in life that are meaningful to them. Want to run a marathon, want to connect to somebody to learn how to do it. Having a health issue, want to connect to somebody who's going through the same thing. Want to learn how to write a book, want to talk to somebody who's done that. We create these global connections all across the world where people can give and take knowledge, experience to improve their lives and ultimately improve society. And that was what was behind ChekMarc.
This sounds like it's almost exactly the opposite of what standard social media is all about.
Yeah, I mean, we did research with Wakefield, and it was alarming. I mean, we knew it intuitively, but we saw research of something like I can't remember what it was, 1 in 7 people ended a family relationship in the last 6 months because of online interaction on social media. Mm-hmm. It was alarming. And I was listening to Nathan talk, and you guys talk earlier. Yeah, novel concept, right? Be positive online. Help people out.
Yeah.
Pay it forward. And it's amazing that there's not a platform for that. And
so there should be. This is what social media should be about, right? It shouldn't be about the negative stuff.
Yeah, the basis of social media as we have been told is to connect people. But Facebook and Instagram and Twitter have become popular because it literally addicts you to their platform.
Yep.
It's an addiction. Yep. And it takes advantage of two very, very powerful, well, just not two, but two very powerful things. And then one of them is social proof, which is all the likes and dislikes and things like that. And the other is the FOMO, or fear of missing out. So that's why these things are such powerful tools, is because we're literally becoming addicted to them.
Yeah, and what's really bad is it's so ingrained into our society now that this is what we want, instead of being positive and sharing stuff, which is really probably what we should be doing.
Well,
right?
that's kind of a novel concept for humans. Okay. We place more, and it's hard to say value, but negativity is what creates more energy than positivity.
Well, at least it is now, but we're going to change that. We're going to make it change.
Well, that's why when we look at religion and things like that, what are the precepts of that? Is be good to your neighbor.
Yep.
Be good to people who are different than you are.
Yep.
You know, because we're sort of geared towards looking for negative things in other people.
You know, Mike, it's a great point that you raised, because our technology is incredibly ethical. We made a decision not to have likes and retweets and shares, because we don't want it to be a popularity contest. We don't have algorithms that addict you to our site. We want you to be on our site when you want to do good for yourself or do good for other people. We don't have ads. I don't care where you went to. I don't care where you're going. All I want is for you to be, if you're on Checkmark, our only ask with my co-founder, Brenda Johnson, who's fantastic, is that you just be respectful.
That's one of the nice things that I heard that when Nathan was telling me about it, I was like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's just such revolutionary. Yeah, I mean, it could be a game changer in the market for just being positive, right?
It could be.
All right, so Mark, this was to be a big public announcement today, release day, right? We set this up a couple months back. You were going to come on our show. We were going to make a huge announcement about your platform. You had a version 2 that was going to be taken care of. We were going to be the exclusive worldwide announcement show. And then something happened. And I think how this happened, I think, is just as important to your product. What happened?
Yeah, so we went live 10, 11 weeks ago with a release. It's really good, so check it out. But it wasn't the release that we were going to put all of our big focus and campaign behind. So we were really excited to come on today on your radio show and your podcast and launch our second release. And then, you know, our development team is almost all in India, and COVID hit India pretty hard, and it's really tragic on a humane level. And so, you know, we're a couple weeks delayed, which when you think of what they're going through right now day to day, it's just horrible, the stories we hear. And so we're a couple weeks delayed, but, you know, check us out now. Come back in a couple weeks and you'll see the fuller second release when it really, really expands and becomes more multidimensional. But in the meantime, if there's anything that you can do for India, I think our country, you know, should be stepping up even more than we are in every country, because now that we're in a relatively good place compared to where we are, there's so much we can do for others. And, you know, anything we can do to help our colleagues and friends in India and other countries like that would be amazing right now. And I'm feeling the impact firsthand, but they're feeling it much worse.
That's true. So development teams and support teams and anything in India, they're going through some rough times right now with the COVID over there hitting. They didn't have quite the same processes and vaccinations in place.
No, and they have higher degrees of urban concentration.
Yep. All right, so Mark, let's talk specifically. What are the differences of your social media platform? We kind of talked a little bit about them, but let's really dive into them. What are the differences between this and Facebook? So if I'm a new user and I'm going to go log in, what am I going to look for? Why would I use this platform? Let's kind of dig into the weeds here.
Yep. So first of all, to your point that you mentioned earlier, we don't even consider ourselves social media. We consider ourselves a category of one. Okay. So an online platform to gain information from other people to help you be successful. So the first thing that's different is everything about Checkmark when you go on there is about purpose. It's about achieving something or helping somebody else out. So unlike Facebook or other sites where you go on there to be heard and to place information out there and post things, this is all about posting a request for something that you're looking to achieve in life, other people responding to you sorting through those responses and figuring out who you want to connect with. In our broader release, we'll be building out much more of a community feel. You can read into that what that will be, but it'll be much more of a community feel. But the first thing you're going to see is that we're incredibly private. Everything about us is private. You have the ability to not share who you are. You have the ability to figure out who you want to interact with before you necessarily know who they are. So it's very bias free. But at the point when you choose to interact with somebody, our site forces you to share your name because we believe two people should know who they are. Second thing is we have heavy content moderation that keeps our site positive. And we do that unapologetically and it's unfortunate that we have to do that to your point earlier. But there's a retraining of the world in terms of how to interact in a civil and respectful way. And so we have the AI that ensures that our pictures and our videos and our texts are positive. And if something slips through, the community regulates. So there's a level of moderation that happens behind the scenes, which we have and we don't apologize for because we think it's important to create a safe and trusted community. We are also very noise-free. So as I had said before, there's no likes, no retweets, no reposts, no popularity contests. And also we have identity verification. So a core to what we believe makes a safe environment is, and
What's that?
That's a nice thing.
Okay, so let me
because this is what I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, so
I get so many people
sending you fake stuff on your dating stuff
on dating sites and Facebook. It's hilarious.
So let me so I'm going to interrupt poor Mark because I actually did the verification. So let me tell you exactly how this works, right? So it costs $1.60. So first of all, if you can't pay $1.60 to verify who you are, then you need to go to a different platform.
We make no money on that, by the way.
They do not. They do not. They say you guys at least, Mark, you said that like 3 times during the process to do that. You're very clear that they make no money on the $1.60. But essentially what you do is you go on in, you're going to have to show a photo ID of government issued, a visa that you have, other documents. It's going to take a picture, and they use a third-party provider that goes through and does verification. Okay. And then once they verify you, you can still have a different name. So I'm like, Mumm's the word. But so if you're on the platform, it's actually I changed it to Mumm's for Technology. So I changed it was Mumm's.
Oh, it should be Mumm's the word.
Well, no. So Mumm's for Technology is what I'm on there. So you can go on to Checkmark and find me anywhere you want. But I have a little V for verify that said that I am literally who I am. So after I make a one-on-one connection, if I say that I am Nathan, they're going to know who I am. So I can't be somebody that I'm not, but I am actually representing myself. So sorry, Mark, to interrupt there, but I just wanted to tell everybody I did this, and it is a very... it was kind of a long process. I mean, it took me about 5 minutes to get out the wallet and find my ID and take a picture and scan it a little bit closer, and then the bright light.
Lazy factor.
So I know. So it took a little bit of time, but it really made me verifiable. So let me you go back to you, Mark, and you can keep on explaining what that is. But
and what that's doing, folks, is first of all, we don't save any data. It just goes right through because we're not regulated in that way. We have no need to save that data. It's confirming that it's a legitimate government registered ID from wherever you are in the world. And then it's confirming your biometrics that it matches. And, people can choose to use that or not use that. Later on, there's certain things that will be added to Checkmark in a couple of weeks where that will be helpful, where people who are verified potentially might have a better experience, but we'll see how that goes and we'll play that out a little bit. But the verification is something that we'd rather have a smaller community of real people than 1 billion people on our platform where 300 million of them are the same person with 7 different IDs and another 100 million are trolls. And that's people are stuck in that business model, right? Where they're paid by users and they're paid by their community size. We're not. We're focused on, we believe people are good, and we're focused on people providing good to each other. And that is the main thing for us. So the whole experience on our site that you'll see on there is about 2 people connecting right now to help each other achieve something that's meaningful for you. And you can search by categories, you can search by keywords, you can vet people. But the whole engagement is really around helping each other out. You can't just ping people randomly and bother people. And you can be verified as Nathan is, but you can also hide your name so that you can share things very confidentially. Now, so fundamentally, it's quite different than anything else out there because you can search for information, but we're allowing you to connect to people and we're giving you access to people. There's also we don't support people making money on the site. So it's not a site to raise money. Go to GoFundMe. It's not a site to make money. Go to Craigslist, Angelus, wherever you want to go. But if you want to do good for others and do good for yourself, ours is a really good site for that. Now, when you go on in 2 weeks, it expands quite a bit. There's ability to interact in a lot of different ways, but the same principles are going to apply, but it'll have much more of a community experience in it. But again, you're just going to have a whole different feel for what's out there right now in social. And, so many people are just canceling their social accounts and don't know where to go. A place like Checkmark is a place where you can go, where you can really hang out there and help the world and do good. And then on our site, you can also share your experiences. So if you've connected, you've had a good experience, you've learned something, you can post it. People can search, they can learn from your experiences. And so that really is what we're all about, Nathan.
Yeah. Any other questions, Mike, that you had? Because I know that you had a bunch of questions that you.
Well, yeah, I didn't know what the framework was.
So So when we did our production meeting, Mark, I told everybody we're going to have you on. I didn't give a whole lot of details or information so that my staff then can come up with questions and think about stuff and during different items. Now I can tell you this: I responded. So I searched for technology on ChekMarc. Mm-hmm. And there was like 3 people asking us some things about SEO. How do I get my YouTube site to get more likes? And what do I do to promote this? And so I responded to all 3 of the requests that were out there. I haven't gotten a response back yet. I just checked it before our show started in the first hour. But ideally, it was giving them some information. And if they want to connect with me, then the next process would be they say, yes, let's connect. And then I believe, Mark, then I would have a one-on-one dialogue with them to help them out. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, you responded to them. They get the choice. They can see up to 20 responses at a time. They'll look through your response and decide if they're interested in taking you up on your offer to help. And at that point, they'll respond to you, and you guys will agree to connect. Your names will be shared, and then you guys can stay on the platform, and you can communicate back and forth on the platform. You can go off and have a Zoom call. We don't necessarily require you to sit on our platform. So we want to use our platform to make those connections and to allow people to engage. But you can then decide it's a 5-minute discussion. It's a chat back and forth through our site. Get on a Zoom call for an hour. It's up to the 2 people to decide how they want to take that connection going forward. So the site is grow. We've deliberately slowed the growth of our community until we get to release 2. We really treated this first release as an extended beta to get feedback, to listen, to see what people liked. And so, but we're hoping and expecting it'll really start to pick up with our second release.
All right. So the secret here, TechTime Radio listeners and my audience, now is the time to sign up. So if you go and sign up now on the version 1 that they have available, when version 2 comes on out, you can already be verified, ready to go, and have all that information. So, Mark, how would they go about getting engaged on this? I know it's very simple, but let me turn it back to you to end out our segment here. How would they go about signing up for ChekMarc?
It's super simple. First of all, it's 18 years and up. Okay, so we also made that call. So we're not interested in. We're not going the preteen route.
You're not doing the Facebook, Instagram
6 to 13.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah. We're not trying to juice the. But you just go on the site and you literally put in your name and your email, and you'll get a verification code sent to your email. Look into your spam or promotion folders because sometimes it ends up there. It doesn't always end up in the inbox, but you'll get it. And you just put the verification code up and you're in. It's super simple. You can read about us in the About section. You can read our blog. You can look around a little bit. Keep in mind that when the second release drops in about 2 weeks, we want you to go back to your profile because there's a lot more stuff we ask about you because it enables a little bit more personalization on the site that's coming. And it'll enable more of the communities that we're going to bring to the site to bring people together in different ways. Super simple to sign on, web or app. You can get it, Android or iOS. ChekMarc. There is an app, ChekMarc. Fortunately, we didn't want that name. We wanted ChekMarc. Otherwise, we would have had a real problem with the app language. But app or website, it looks great. And then it'll be a complete UI overhaul in 2 weeks. But if you sign on now, you're in early, and you'll be able to take advantage of release 2 even more quickly.
Perfect. Great. Thank you very much. Mark is one of 2 Marks that I know that spell their name M-A-R-C, so that is fantastic. All right, we are going to head out to a commercial break. So, Mark, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
When we come on back, we will be talking about our stories you didn't know with some stories regarding Jeff Bezos.
Your business deserves the same expertise as that of a Fortune 500 company. If you need a CIO-level service, why hire a full-time staff member at $250,000 a year when you can get this on-demand service for fractions of the cost? As your CIO on demand, we'll give you the steps you need to take so as to minimize interruption to your business and profitability, and provide you and your business with training and education to prevent future attacks. To get an efficiency review for your business today, contact us at www.ee-services.com.
Looking for a new way to start your mornings with current events and trending topics?
Hey y'all, it's your girls Jasmine
and Shantae from The Way with Jazz and Tay, your new favorite weekly morning show.
Catch us every Thursday morning from 7 to 8 a.m.
where we'll be bringing you fun icebreakers to kick off your morning,
reviews to inform your day, and all the new music. Again, catch us, your new favorite duo, Jasmine and Shantae, every Thursday from 7 to 8 a.m.
Keep up with us on Instagram at The Way Jazz and Tay and on Twitter at The Way JT.
See you on Thursday.
Welcome back to TechTime Radio. I'm your host, Nathan Mumm. We were just talking on the commercial break there. That sounds like an interesting platform, right?
Yeah, I after finding out more about it, it sounds like a really, really great idea.
It does. It's it's nice to have something positive to talk about.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic. Well, we're moving into our next segment. We got some special music, so let's take a look at our stories you don't know.
Stories you didn't know.
See, I knew you'd be laughing.
It sounds like the Fresh Prince or something.
It does. I know. It's like stories you didn't know. All right.
Okay.
Blue Origin's HQ is in Washington State. We're speaking all about Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos. Some interesting stories that you probably didn't know about him. But his Blue Origin HQ is in Washington State. It lost to SpaceX on the lunar lander contract. And essentially, we have Maria Cantwell, our local legislation individual, that is going and asking Congress to do something that hasn't been done in over 20 years. You guess what that is?
Land on the moon?
No, give NASA money.
Oh, give NASA money?
Give NASA, yes. So, with limited funding, NASA says that it could not afford to have more than just one single company use the lunar lander expedition, which has essentially been given to Elon Musk's SpaceX contract. But Jeff Bezos is not happy.
No.
Blue Origin lost out on a bid of $6 billion, or twice what SpaceX had said it would charge. On Wednesday, Senator Maria Cantwell of Washington State, where Blue Origin is headquartered, came through and said that she is going to introduce legislation to call for NASA to make a change. She wants Jeff Bezos' companies to have the influence in the space race. Now, she's not expecting the NASA organization to no longer work with Elon Musk, but she says there's an opportunity to have two partners in, and Jeff Bezos should be a part of the NASA lunar landers process to move to that.
So what does this do? Does it just give NASA more money?
So essentially what she wants to do is, instead of having just Musk be the only person in NASA, let's have two people instead of one.
Mm-hmm.
And let's have Congress give NASA some more money so that they can then regulate, and instead of just one person, two people's space program to get us to the moon and Mars and other destinations out there. So she wants to fund.
She wants
NASA.
She wants NASA to start becoming an oversight
of two
private individuals trying to
regulate
about who's going to be the awesomest.
That's correct. That is exactly what that was about. You probably didn't know that, did you?
I know.
Okay, well, here's our next one. Did you know that Jeff Bezos has a $500 million mega yacht?
Yeah,
and it is too. You did. It is too big. We learned that Bezos will soon take delivery of a $500 million mega yacht.
A mega yacht.
A mega yacht. So now I worked at a company where we had a bunch of yachts that there was about 3 of them that would be out in the world, going around the world taking care of stuff. But here's the problems with Jeff Bezos. According to Bloomberg's report, the yacht will be 415 feet long when completed. So that's over a football field. It's a yacht.
Yeah.
Okay, a yacht over a football. It is so big that it doesn't
It needs a support yacht.
So that it has to have a support yacht because it has 3 large, and so we play this on like Sea of Thieves. So here's my Sea of Thieves video game tape. It has 3 masts. All right? These 3 masts are so big and so tangled that you couldn't land a helicopter there. So Bezos essentially has to buy a support yacht
so
he can fly in, land his helicopter, and then take a rowboat or another excursion boat over to his main boat to run.
I think there's a point at which there's just too much yacht.
But hang on. Does his yacht have the Bugatti self-balancing pool table? Because if he doesn't, he's not going to be able to play pool on it.
You know, if Jeff has that big of a yacht, he's probably got a Bugatti Pool table.
There's only 30 of these units ever made. $300,000 for a pool table. And you know what this pool table does?
It self-balances.
It self-balances, so it guarantees you can play pool in the high waves. Isn't that amazing?
Woohoo.
Well, there you go. That is our Tech Time Radio second hour plus episode. Wasn't that? It was 2 pluses. Thank you for joining us so much. That was 2 hours.
No, it has to be the mega hour.
It's the mega hour.
Yeah.
All right. I myself enjoyed this greatly. We got Mike Roday here, David Brown behind the board. Have a great day.
Yeah. Bye-bye. That's my line.
That is.
Thanks for joining us on Tech Time Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment in technology today. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service from Apple to Google and everything in between. And also signing up on our YouTube page, where you get to see us live in video. Yep, you can see us chat and have some fun. It's youtube.com/TechTimeRadio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at Tech Time Radio, remember, Mumm's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week.